We'll jump right in and look at the very first one is really cost. And the one we often have to try to dispel, or at least try to help you understand, is this idea that it's too expensive. One thing we'll say about that is that the fact of the matter is that anytime you outsource a project or a service, whether it be mowing your yard or getting your taxes done or getting a haircut or whatever it happens to be, if you choose to outsource something, there's a cost. But along with that cost, there should be something coming in return, so value. So I think you always have to look in terms of when I'm expensing something, when I'm investing in something, am I getting value out of that? And staffing is the same thing. When you fill your labor needs, no matter what it is, especially in the skilled trade space, you know that there is a cost to that, and there's a cost to any model that you pursue. So you got to ask yourself, why should I spend the money? Does the value justify the cost? So that's the first one, Brett. And what about that? What about that?
Well, I mean, no doubt about it. I mean, like you said, it's, anytime any service that we go out and get, it's really come down, you're really never upset about what you spend if you felt like you got what you wanted, when my mom used to cut my hair, it was cheap. I don't think she watches this podcast, but I don't know how good it was. Maybe she does watch it.
You better call her right after.
It was a great haircut. And so, I had three brothers, so we were all going to the barber. As Tim said, first let's unpack for a minute here, what are the other options? So a travel staffing model is an option, to fill your talent needs. In our case specifically, the skilled trades talent needs, but the model is used in other space too. We'll talk about that a little bit. But the first one, the obvious one, is internal recruiting. One of the things that we've seen a lot in the last 10 years is HR has now become expanded into talent and recruiting internally, and companies have chosen to invest because of the huge need to find talent in that. And so the negative of that, the positive is obviously it's internal, you're doing it, and hopefully you can find the talent. The negative, you've now created a fixed cost. You've increased your fixed overhead. You may or may not have a lot of success finding talent. The company that I was with prior to us starting this, my manufacturing company, we had, significant increase in HR, and it was debatable, how much return we were really getting for that. Some areas they did pretty well, certain jobs, other areas not so well. There was a recent leadership survey, I think, Tim, we saw a while back, that said that companies were expecting to increase their HR spend primarily through recruiting and hiring people to do recruiting internally and stuff, over 100% with minimal expected impact to finding the talent.
Right.
You and I, when we heard that, we both looked at each other and thought, why would you do that?
Yeah, what business decision do we make here that we're going to increase spending by 100% but expect no good result out of it? I think their hope was that they would at least stay even, which I'm not sure that was what I would call value. So another thing is, what are your options? Internal recruiting, talent acquisition. Many of you guys out there are familiar with temporary or temp agencies. As staffing goes, it's probably the least expensive on the surface, but you also, generally speaking, find the least qualified talent there. It works really well for general labor, where there's not a lot of high skill, or there's a lot of turnover. It's a numbers game. The problem, though, if it doesn't help you alleviate your talent concern, it's the most expensive cost because you've wasted cost. Mm-hmm. Now you're throwing good money after bad. So temp agency, we know our business is skill work. Many of our clients have worked with those type of agencies. It has not been a good experience for them.